So now join me in welcoming and congratulating Director Craig Gillespie.
Barry thinks we're fine, so it's hard to tell. We really haven't had time.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hanging around. This has been really close to my heart, this project, and it's been such a blessing to be able to work on it with the group of people that I got to work on it with, all the way through from AI, who financed it and was so supportive, and then Miramax with Bill Block, who've again been so supportive and really let us keep our vision. The crew on this has been amazing. Everybody suffered with a smile on their face, and I want to thank all of them as well. I know some of them are out there, including my editor, Tatiana Regal. I'd like to bring out some of our cast now, who worked so hard and tirelessly on this. We have McKenna Grace, who played the young Tonya Harding.
Hey. I didn't expect this.
Julianne Nicholson, who played Diane.
Thanks.
We also have back here Paul Walter Hauser. And we have Alison Janney. Caitlin Carver, who played Nancy. We have Sebastian Stan playing Jeff. And, of course, Margot Robbie. Thank you very much. We also have, with our producers, we have Stephen Rogers, who is the writer and a producer on this.
Yeah, buddy!
And then who else do we have? I don't see them. I was going to bring out more, but I can't see them back there. That's everyone. Okay. That's back there. There are, of course, we've got Brian Uncles, Tom Ackley out in the audience there, who are producers on this as well. If you guys say hi. All right.
All right, the gang's all here. Let's begin right in the front, sir. Go ahead.
First off, congratulations. The movie's great. Margot, how much preparation did you have to do for the film as in skating?
I'll repeat that for everyone else, please. First of all, he said, congratulations on a wonderful film. And he addresses the question to Margot. How much preparation did you have to do, especially in regards to the skating?
Quite a bit, as much as we could possibly do before production started. So I think I did about 3 or 4 months of skating 5 times a week for a couple hours a day, which even if I had 10 years to practice, I couldn't do a triple axel. So I needed help.
All right. Again, on the aisle. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. She wants to congratulate you on a wonderful film again. And the question is for Margot and Sebastian. She felt that each of your characters had very distinct physicality, and she wondered if that was something you did consciously, or did you develop that?
I worked with a movement coach and stuff. I generally do that with any preparation anyway, but specifically for Tonya's physicality. And also there's so much online footage of her, we could obviously replicate a lot of the skate routines that way, and then some of her mannerisms, I guess I could watch closely.
Yeah, I mean, whatever was online, you know, basically. I mean, which was not a lot, but actually meeting him in person really helped. So that was good.
Okay, thank you. Yes, waving your hand there. Her question is, after you met them in person, did that have an effect on how you felt about them, your sympathy for them, or how you performed them?
It did, which is why I didn't want to spend too much time with Tonya before we started shooting. I didn't want to pull back anything in a performance and in the story. So Craig and I flew up to Portland and met with Tonya, and we only spent a couple hours with her, which I think was better to keep it that way. I think otherwise I would have probably had too much empathy for her.
Yeah, I seeked him out. I mean, it took me a while. He was kind of hard to, he wasn't returning my calls right away. But finally I tracked him down, and then, you know, I think the thing is that no matter what the situation, you're always feeling some kind of responsibility for the person because they're a real person, and you know, we had a script to honor, and that was always going to be my main task, no matter what, without judgment of what any character was doing. And with him, it's just to learn as much about him as possible and try to figure out why people do what they do.
Fair. Yes, in the second row here.
What type of impact does it have on your day-to-day life when you play a character? Like, anyone can answer this. I mean, the type of characters you guys play, what type of impact does that have on your life?
All right. I think perhaps this also might be for Alice and Julianne, others too. When you play a character like the characters you played here, what impact might that have on your everyday life? Perhaps for you, sir.
I'll take that. It's very, in some ways, therapeutic, and I get to work out a lot of the dark sides of Allison. Get to come out. It was a lot of fun, but very easy to. Once the scene ended, it was, you know, Levana has not haunted me. She was a great deal of fun to play, and I have a soft spot in my heart for her. I know she's sort of tough to love, but I think she really just wanted the best for her daughter, and which would mean the best for her too. She saw her daughter as a ticket out of a life she didn't want to be in. So, but in terms of doing the acting, it was easy to leave her on the set.
I was just going to say, I'm used to being a terrible, misinformed, selfish person anyway, so I just kind of showed up and ate craft service and said the lines Stephen Rogers wrote. But my person is actually deceased, so I could not go to him for material, but I did the YouTube thing and sort of jumped into the character, whatever that was.
Okay. Yes, in front here.
For Allison, Julian, and Margot, when you meet Jeff, your character meets Jeff, she says there's a gardener and a flower, and you sort of see that relationship between the two motherly figures for Tonya, and I was wondering how you guys created that dynamic between the three of you, because you essentially were her parents in this adaptation. I don't know much about Tonya.
I'm going to try to paraphrase that if I can, or do justice to that, which I think is a really interesting question for Julianne, Allison, and then for Margot. She's saying that the two of you were essentially you were another parent for her. You were her parent. And she's thinking it's a very interesting dynamic here. And how did you work on that, and how did you create it?
Well, I just, the flower gardener line is one of my favorites, and Stephen Rogers, who's right down there, who wrote that, wait, tell me about, let's I can't remember if that was what like that line, the flower gardener. I used to say that. I think
you mean in life?
Yes.
Yeah, you would say that.
But I'm just going back to that because you referenced that line in particular, and I always used to say to Stephen in real life that I was a flower who needed a gardener, but I was always the gardener in all my relationships, and I wanted to be the flower. And so
I stole it.
And he put it in the movie, but, so that doesn't answer your question at all. You're welcome. I just wanted to speak to that.
Yeah. Thanks for catching that. Yes.
Thank you, Allison.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I see you upper deck, sir. Yes. Did everyone hear that? He said, "What made you want to tell this story?"
Honestly, it was Stephen's script. It was something that I was curious about. The idea of Margot Robbie I knew was attached to this, and I love Margot's work, and I think she does this beautiful dance and a lot of her work between humor and drama, and I thought that was a really interesting combination. And then I read the script, and it was such a dance between obviously the humor and the emotion, and a place that I was really excited to go with it, and that's what got me involved. Because to be able to take these characters that we know so well in the public eye, and then really get a deeper sense of who they are as people and what motivated them, and the choices and the mistakes they made along the way, just made for a really compelling story for me.
Okay, thank you. We have time for one more question. Is there anyone? Am I missing? Go here.
I'll throw it there. For Margot, I'm sorry, I have to be that person and say, go Queenslander. I'd like to know, rather than that boring question, what drew you to the script, what was your favorite scene, maybe before you filmed it, and then you realized afterwards it might have been something different?
I hope I can say that. A fellow Aussie says, congratulations, go Queenslanders. So she's asking, going in, what was your favorite scene? And then afterwards, did you think differently about it?
Oh, that's a really, really good, very good question. I think the scenes with Jeff took me by surprise, because I had never seen this film as a love story. And then Sebastian kind of played Jeff in such a way that it kind of became a really weird love story. And it did, it was kind of nice. But I think a lot of our scenes ended up being my favorite because, well, there was the montage where it leads up to the police being there. Craig kind of on the day was like, just kind of do whatever in the moment. And we got so carried away that I genuinely forgot that we were on a film set and that I wasn't Tonya and that he wasn't Jeff. And we got into this massive fight. Do you remember this? It's not in the film, it didn't make the cut because it's a bit intense, but we got in this massive fight where he slams my hand into the door and we got into like a brawl and essentially I ended up storming off down the street, which was like the end of the set, like it would have been just the road in the real world, and you were coming after me screaming, where are you going? And I think you even said Margot, and then I was like, I'm going to the hospital because you broke my hand, and it was so ridiculous and I was so caught up in it, and then I think I punched you in the side of the head when you picked me up. Anyways, it was all crazy.
The real world.
And that ended up being my favorite scene because I forgot that I was acting completely and I forgot we were on a film set, and nothing makes me like more exhilarated when I genuinely forget that. I forget where I am.
Well,
it's a weird answer, I'm sorry.
Yes. And we're exhilarated.
I almost call him Sean because I have him as Sean in my phone.
You need a bodyguard.
No, he and I kind of hit each other. I think we went like Russian roulette, punch for punch in that scene.
Are you talking about the night at my parents' house?
Yeah.
We got a little.
And Craig was just letting it go.
It got a little real.
We just went to town.
We slapped the crap out of each other at one point. It didn't make the movie, but we slapped each other a few times.
Yeah.
And on that note, congratulations on a wonderful film. Really, sincerely, thank you very much for letting us premiere it.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you again.